I'm a very curious person. I know way too much about things like fish ponds and vacuum cleaners, and this curiosity extends to most everything, especially in technology. So ensuring my growth in this intellectual sense is easy. It's almost like a hobby, and I believe that we're always learning. The one thing that I can't stand is being stagnant. Motivations are very personal. They differ from person to person, and understanding what that motivation is, I think, initially is very important. So some people like to be masters of what they're building. They like the quality, the perfection behind it. Some people like the fact that they've built something, and some people just want to go on their journey to be building something good. Now, with Wonder, it's not that difficult to pitch a vision because we just want to help people. I personally think people are very lonely, and if we are able to bridge that gap between them, allow them to meet new people that they get along with, that's a huge reward. We moved from being a travel app for singles to now encompassing groups where people can get together over common interests, common events, common places. I have to juggle marketing, investors, hiring, making sure the product is good. Critical decisions are always decisions about time. What am I going to use my time for? What am I going to use my team's time for? As a result of that as well, prioritization. Which features are we going to build right now that users need, that's going to take us to the next level? Sometimes we're faced with very complex issues, and the way I personally deal with it is a mixture of intuition and data. So I go find a lot of data, whether it's journals, studies that I can pick out from Google, and also talking to experts. I'll seek them out on LinkedIn, connect with them, ask them the questions, get them to meet me. And once I have all this data, I just take a nap. My intuition, my subconscious, it's very powerful. Helps process all of that. I wake up, I have the answer. Works 50% of the time. The other 50%, you make the decisions with not enough data and then just roll with it. If you're running a team, you definitely need to be extremely decisive. And beyond that, be able to live with the decisions you make because they affect everyone in the team. But if you're building something, you need extreme clarity of vision. So having that clarity and constantly reminding yourself of it, I think, is very important. I don't think people get enough credit. And I'm not talking about credit for, necessarily the work they do. I'm talking about personal credit. Thank you for putting in that extra effort to make something better when you didn't have to. People reach for bare minimum, and I think great leaders with empathy help their team reach their own potential. To me, that's very inspiring. It's very important for me to listen to critiques of my product by real users. They're giving me exactly what I need on a plate because they're saying, look, I can't find, how do you do this? Then I know, oh, this button isn't in the right place. People can't see it. And then I change it and it gets better. And I didn't have to think about that. I love it when people bring up competitors. It brings out like this fire in me. I think competition is always good in a space because then your product gets better. And then if your competitor's product gets better, you're like, how am I going to make my product better? And I like to use that to drive myself and my team because in the end, who's going to benefit? The user. It's win-win. Competition's good. Bring it on. I'm not limited to answers A, B, C, or D. I can give a list of 30 different solutions, and I don't allow myself to be boxed in by what seems to be a limitation on resources, on solutions. No way. I'm going to go through, crazy solution A all the way to unlikely solution Z, but always find a solution. That's how I got here. And it's this quality, this deep need. It's not even a desire. Me wanting this so bad. That's what makes me very strong as a founder. Because when you think about it, in the end, it's all about persistence, right? I may not be the smartest one around or, the most connected, but I want it bad. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. When people find out I'm running my own business, they always ask, aren't you scared? How did you get started? Aren't you afraid of failing? And I think to myself, yes, of course I'm afraid of failing. I mean, who isn't afraid of failing? But you know what I'm more afraid of? I'm more afraid of blinking one day, waking up really old and thinking to myself, I wish I had done that. I wish I had tried. Not even tried. I wish I had done my best, my most to make that thing that I wanted work. That regret, I think, or the fear of that regret far outweighs the fear of failure to me because, I mean, I've failed before, for sure, and it hasn't killed me. It's a construct that is fake. It's just time. And was that time completely wasted? I don't think so. I've learned a lot of lessons, and as long as I don't repeat the mistakes that I made or that I thought I made, then it's worth it. I need a lot of alone time. All my hobbies are solitary, and I need a lot of quiet. So it's hard sometimes to interact with people all the time. People always want a piece of you when you're in this business, and especially running a social app. Kind of ironic, actually. The trait I dislike most about myself, I think, is my impatience. Things go at a very rapid pace inside, and it's not realistic to expect the world to be on the same pace constantly. So my impatience does make me feel a little frustrated at times where I know I shouldn't be. Sometimes I think that I could have handled a situation better if I'd been a little bit more patient. So I'm working on that, and I think it's improved a lot, or maybe I'm just older now. So the quality I like most in a man is when a man has multiple facets and he believes in growth. I think that's really important, that somebody is three-dimensional. And I like it when guys are able to hold all these pluralities, like being consistent and spontaneous, being smart and good-looking and ambitious, yet being very grounded at the same time. Spiritual people. I like people with a extremely high growth mindset and also loyalty. That's cool. If you find someone like that, let me know. For women specifically, I really like it when they are unapologetic about being themselves. I like it when they overreach what society thinks they should be like. For example, a woman is always expected to be a bit more demure, a bit more feminine. I like it when women overreach that and they're strong and they stand up for things and they do things that are not expected of them because maybe they look small or maybe they are from a certain country. I like it when women are a bit atypical and have a bit of edge. If I were to die and come back as a person or a thing, I'd be a flaming fucking phoenix. Thank you. Like it?